Molweni emakhaya, singu-Radio East River, sifumaneka kuzo zonke social media platforms.
Goedenavond luisteraars, streamers, welcome to Game Time with Angelo. We're back with another one. Firstly, Radio East River is the leading internet radio station in Cape Town. Thank you for interacting with us on our various platforms. Catch us live on Facebook and on the Radio East River page. TikTok live and Radio East River TikTok profile. Check us out on our website where you can stream live, www.radioeastriver.co.za. Vanavond heb ik een gast hier zo. En die ook hier, hij maakt moves op TikTok. Actually, een klap rugby. Allemaal kennen voor hem. Mensen in die Super A tot mensen in Boland kennen voor hem. Zeg even mensen, wat is jouw naam en van, man?
Hi, guys. Know me as Adrizio. Some Club Rugby updates. Club Rugby podcast. My actual name is Adil Arnold.
Adil Arnold. Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself, just a brief, like what you do in your like day to day before we get into what you actually do and where I actually saw you, you know.
Day to day is basically I do Uber. I'm a full-time Uber driver, and at night I drive transport for company Fox Transport. So I drive for them also. So yeah, so I subcontract for them, and then in the day I normally just do Uber. Sometimes all day, depends how it is.
Nice. And then let's get straight into it, right? So this guy is a commentator on TikTok. He knows everything about players and teams and coaches, and you know the works, and that's all in club rugby. I just wanted to ask you, like, where did your love for the game start?
The actual love for the game started like when I was young, when I was 7. So it's a funny story. Mr. Blake was my coach. So he always tells the story. So I also now start to tell the story. That I had to play one morning, and then my mom said I couldn't play. And I normally, so I ran out. So I took we can fetch the balls and stuff. So I put it by the window side. So when he came inside, I told him, my ma het gesê, ek kan nie speel nie, ek klop aan die deur. So he knocked on the door and he said, Auntie Aisha, Joe Bukkie moet go speel vandag. And like that, and then from there it just took off. Like it was a ritual from 7 years old already, from practicing Friday and playing on a Saturday. That's where it actually started.
And what club was that?
Menenberg Rangers.
Menenberg Rangers. I can remember a couple of, when I was still in high school, we played against Menenberg Rangers. Hey, as you know, story ken aan, and ken je new story aan. But share away, like, okay, so you played from the age of 7 up until what age?
I still play. I played. I'm now 34 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I still play. I played right up until COVID, and then COVID happened, and that's where the TikTok things happened. Like even I was doing TikTok and stuff like that. So I was like just finding my way on the app. I had no interest into doing this that I'm doing now. It was just fun and games, and like trying to, you know, like you get that gym videos and you try to do that. Then you get the rugby videos, you try to do that, and you just try to like make content the whole time and stuff like that. Then when the rugby season started, then it was still like the clubs, some clubs didn't have money, they came out of COVID, they were hurt, and like money flow, everything. So basically most clubs in the lower leagues, like City League, Northern League, Southern Leagues, they basically started on Northern End again.
Maybe so, minus.
So you can just imagine how difficult that was. So we played that year just not to go to the Metro League because that's lower than that. Mm-hmm. So we thought, okay, we just play, we have fun and stuff like that. Then eventually this one guy, his name was CJ News, used to also do like stuff. So you would get in contact with all the rugby teams and stuff like that, and you would do that. So I got a kick out of it, like if you give him information, like if you tell him, okay, Menenberg got the score, this is how much we win and that stuff, then he would immediately post it. Then the feeling that you are the one that told him, you know, that like it's your news, yes. But obviously not gonna put credit like he got it from me, but just that I know, like I gave him that info.
info.
And eventually, like it was fun and games. Like after every Saturday, I would like, oh, Saran, hey, what's the score of this team? What's the score of that? Then eventually, I would get all the league scores and I would send it to him. Then afterwards, he just like made a like a post, like he's moving. He's like gonna go with the sauna. He's gonna do sports for them and that, and he's not gonna do it anymore. So that opened a market. Eventually, that opened a market. And then you also come with that idea, like, okay, I'm going to do the same thing that he's doing. But then you go on Facebook, then you see all this content creators, like, they're all doing it. I was like, there was no gap in the Facebook for it, man. And then I had now my TikTok account. And then I went to the TikTok account and I searched. And I said, but no one is here. So I can become the first actually to do it here on... And I just went to screen, take a picture of any rugby player, copy and paste the results, put it on there, and then see what happens. And I was so nervous when I actually posted. I went off TikTok the whole night. I went off. I didn't want to see anything. I didn't know what's going to happen and stuff like that. And the next morning, like when I woke up, it was like 20,000 views and stuff. And, and I was like, you know, that dopamine rush, and it's like, I'm going to do this.
Nice.
Like, I'm going to push for this. And then it just took off from there completely. Like, it just went and stuff like that. There was, like, ups and downs, but you realize, like, it was all part of the journey, yeah.
So, I want to get into the story, because there's a couple of things that I want to find out with regards to your story. But what position did you play?
I played fullback.
You still play fullback?
No. we have a fullback here, Fahim Davids.
Yeah.
He's an actual scrum off, but he moved to the fullback. But you just know sometimes, man, that he's him. And when he comes through, and that you just move away, and then you see where you can go and stuff like that. So now I'm on the wing, but we have wings in the club, but the competition is not as hard as on the fullback. Like, you know him. Like, yesterday he told me, ek het al klaar 14 kilometers geloop per die week. Hoeveel het sy? So, you know,
like a banter, yeah.
Yeah, so all my life fullback, and then now this year and last year, I knew like it was his time. So, you know, like hand over the baton, and then you just move to the wing, and then hope you make the team, like basically.
And then still on Minenberg, right?
Yes, for life.
So you like that's your team, and you're not gonna go away from that?
No, never. I can't.
Your family will disown you probably, right?
Not really, but it's just like it's part of me, man. I was here since 6, 7. I'm 34 now, so it's like it's hard to leave something that you part of for so a long time, and you're now 34, basically in the twilight of your career. You don't still have time like to go here and go there. So it's lekker now, and you enjoy it with the young ones coming on. Like my 2 cousins is back, the twins. So I coached them under 14, and then just up, and now we're together. So you get that, yes.
Okay, so we're just quickly gonna go for a break. We'll be back in the next 5 minutes. Radio Eerste is the lead station in Cape Town. Thank you for interacting with us on various platforms. You can check us live on radioeasterwe.co.za.
Radio Eerste, Radio Eerste, Radio Eerste, Radio Eerste. Do you want to take your business to the next level? Advertise with Radio Eerste by emailing us at admin@radioeasterwe.co.za.
Submissions are now open.
For all types of South African music to be playlisted on Radio Easter Feed.
The likes of
Gospel,
Trap and hip.
Our station, our talent, and our people.
The best variety of music on your favorite radio station.
Radio East River.
Radio East River. Radio East River. Radio East River. Radio East River.
And we back. Catching up with Adil here. You were saying about your two cousins before
Yeah,
we went on the
so like the reason why I won't leave is like you played all your life here and you try to leave a legacy behind and stuff like that. So like for example, me and my other cousin, right? He's the 8th man. So we always spoke about like we were coaching his twins, like the his brothers. So we were coaching him. My Mr. Blake coached him under 14, I coached him under 15, and then he coached him under 16. And we always made a joke about like, imagine we play one day with him. So now that opportunity comes, you know, and you're not gonna get that by any other club because you also have other competition there. But to have them there and knowing that you can, the opportunity of having 5 cousins on one team, it's a like a feeling like Yusuf Blake, Zayn, the twins, me. So it's I must have like you vision that picture after the game with all 5 and that. So it's that moments like that you chase in your club and trying to go up with the club. We used to be in Super League C before COVID, and then we got relegated, and then it was
City League.
yeah, then we went to the City League, but then it was COVID. So we had a really good team and could have taken us up, but now it was like a rebuild. We came close to 1 year that when I decided, seeing where the club was and you carry the club in your heart, and I said, okay, I'm not going to play this year, I'm going to coach this year. And we went to top 9, but we fell short. And then last year we had the cups and stuff like that. And then, okay, now we got proper coaches with 70 years of experience. You have Adel Ghali, you have Farid Hussein, you have Mr. Blake. So you have that now. So 70 years of experience and stuff like that. The practices is fun because you have 3 legends, but 3 different opinions. And to stand here, you know how it is.
I can just imagine.
So laat me klaar, maar dan gaan hulle uit. And it's nice to see that, and now having everyone there, it's an amazing feeling. So that's the part that makes you chase. Like, okay, like I'm ending off in my career, but can I still and be part of us here? If we go up to top 9, if we make it to Super C, like it's like it will be a quiet ending of like all those years and stuff like that. And to be part of it, the first Manenberg team after COVID to take us to Super League C, that is basically what you chase, that little bit of history. So it will be fun to sit 5 years back and say, we started that.
Like whenever you play a good game and you maybe in your clubhouse, then the old guys always come and you're like, you know, me down, like that type of feeling.
You get that also, and you understand where they come from because they wish they can still play. And you know how it is eventually. You played high school or wherever senior and stuff like that. And then there comes a time where you realize, okay, like I have to walk away. But if you can walk your path, like you can put it your way, it would be a nice touch. But everything is out of your control. But at least you try to pitch up every day. So to be part of that, I mean, it'll be like
yeah, you talk about that, and I watch a podcast of Rassi and Steven Kutsu, and just with you saying that when you know your rugby is done, or in that time where you like I, I retired a couple of times and I'll come out and I sit next to the field and like, nah, man, I still smack to play. But then I play because I always wanted to go out on my terms.
Yeah.
Man. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get an injury and you say, yeah, no, I must now work harder again to be there on that level. And the transition part from playing rugby and just be a spectator is really, really tough. And I think a lot of people struggle with that if you know that.
Yeah, you see it. You see it on your friends that's not playing, and you see. We just make jokes about it, like how thick they become, how fat they become, and stuff like that. And then we say, "Hey, just come, man. Just come now Tuesday, Thursday. Just practice." And then eventually, because at the end of the day, we also want to have a little bit of fitness and stuff like that. But that's it. But yeah, you like you were now saying, like you sit on the field, you get the itch and stuff like that. When I was coaching last year and in the middle of the year I resigned, and the reason was I knew, look here is coaches now. There was no one that wanted to come to Manenberg when I was there. No one. So eventually when you saw you get to put Farid Hussein that's here for long at the club. You have Mr. Blake here, but he was doing still the chairman and stuff. And then I have Adel Khali coming in. So now you know, okay, yeah, everything is alright here on top, man. Now I can in my way and hopefully do it your way and go out how you want to go out. But it's harder now in your 30s because I can't just run up, man. I have to warm up and I'm training and I'm doing extras. I was doing extras today, I was jumping. Then I go do Uber, my phone gets flat. Then I still come and charge my phone. I want to go run a bit on the field. Because I know that the wings that I'm competing with now, they just run up and they play. So you can't do that. And you sit there, you're growing. I never used to have this in my 20s, injuries and stuff. But now you know, and that's the thing now. And that each shot people get for the game and stuff is liquor.
It's true. It's so true. I can remember my last my last year or two. I was never a fitness guy. I always got fit in game time situations. But I could never because your back, man, when you run that far, your back is always so.
Yeah, I sit there and you think you never had this ankle injury. Your groin, your left eye pulled my groin in my peak. So I pulled my groin. So coming back from that and then COVID and then now, and you picked up weight. I was 75 and then 2 years later I was just coaching and that, and I became 95, 97 kgs. So now to lose that, the force was the best opportunity because my girlfriend was also saying to me that you say you're going to lose it. I said, yeah, because of Ramadan, because when you force, you're not eating and stuff like that. So now in that time, I lost 7 kg. So now it's you just feel, okay, can I tone it up? Can I lose the belly fat? So it's tough, but I know the competition that is there, man. To get into the team and stuff like that. So it's liquor. And
but if you look at it, no, right? Yes, these guys that's there now, it's youngsters, but a lot of times, when you on the field, you know what angles to run to make your life easier. So sometimes experience counts for you also, because you don't have to run from 15 meters out to be in a gap. Okay, if the move is here by the centers, I know I have to clean by the center. So let's say, for instance, I'm just going to run in this space because there might be a possibility of offload where some of the wings maybe, they will wait there on the wing. You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying, yes. And, I used to be arrogant about this, where I used to believe we don't need experience. When we were in our peak and we were a liquor group and stuff, we were all 26, 27. We didn't want experience, man. We just wanted to play, and they weren't on our level and stuff like that. But when you hit 30, and now you see the game better, you see the vision better. You understand now which moments to take, which moments not to take, and so now for me, I can't be that person that I used to be in my 20s. I have to go to my one, but I say, okay, like for me, this is how I play and this is how I see the game. Everyone sees it different, and I think Crusaders fullback. He explained it better, man.
Well, Jordan.
Well, Jordan was a podcast that they had with Marshall them and that stuff. He said like a coach have its formation like 1-3-3-1, and they have their different blocks that they play in. So for him, it's like how can he innovate in that block, but while still in the pattern. So for me, that's the exciting part. Where I will maybe tell Ilya, even though I know you're gonna take up, I'm coming short, or I will say, Kaz, he's tall, and I take a few, then you offload. But then it looks like you're the man, but you're not.
Because the person that putting, yeah.
So that's where the experience part comes in. You now know when to strike and when not to strike. And my greatest asset that I see now is where I coach those players. I know how each one play, and I know how to play with him, or like his strength. And I think if you can do that, then every player will play good in the sense of, I will know, okay, you don't like to pass, so I'm not going to bother asking you to pass. So I know he's going to take up, I'm going to clean on him. So once you know your 15 that's on the field with you, the 23 that's coming, the bench that's coming up, and then you try to create that shapes of different patterns of blocks, how you can look part of it and that stuff. So that's what I now, at the age that I am now, that's what I chase a lot. Like I will know, okay, this one plays so I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna hold. So that's what you basically do. If you can do that at a younger age, it's even more better for you
to understand. I think like my next question actually wanted to be is, obviously you're probably gonna go into coaching, right? After you're done playing, or are you gonna be administrator, or how do you see yourself in the club, still assisting the club?
When I was coaching, I suffered a lot in the sense of money wise, of my work, the transport that I was doing and stuff like that. So I now know I don't have that time. Like after this, like I'll maybe coach high schools where I know, okay, it's just afternoon quick and that stuff. But as for senior rugby and where I'm at and what I want to achieve with my business and stuff like that, it's hard. If you have 3 vehicles, 2 break, like now currently 2 broken and stuff. So now I must get that back on the road. So now it's like, if you are a coach, you have to be there Monday, Tuesday, you have to be Monday in a meeting, or Monday coaching, Tuesday, Thursday. So the business would have suffered, man.
Shout out to your business. What's the name of your business?
No, it's just like, it's we're so busy with the name. It's B Transport.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is it. So it's like driving contract, like I said in the beginning, and that. So now I'm more focused on that. And I remember when you messaged me, I said, look, I can't come as fast, and I'm driving transport, and that. So I had to prep a whole month for you to then say, okay, that's Monday, because I had to drive now 7 o'clock, but it just so happened that the vehicles broke. So I said, okay, I'm now free for this slot.
Right.
But that's just how it works and stuff. So yeah.
Thank you for that.
So a pleasure. So I don't think I'll have the time after, like if I retire and I'm lucky enough, the coaches, I know them and that stuff, and like commitment and that, and I said, look here, basically I can only come on a Thursday and I can put the driver on. But you need to be, when you run your own business, you need to be hands-on. And that's something you learn.
And as a coach as well.
And that's the thing. So for me, I don't see myself on senior coaching anytime soon. Yeah, until I have that, like I have it proper and that stuff. So it's only the second year of the business now. So they say you suffer for 3 years, 4 years before you actually see it. So inshallah, if God wills.
Here's the thing that I wanted to tell you, man. Like, 2 of my friends coach. One is at both is actually at Crafton. One coach for the under 20, and the other one last year he coached the backline for Crafton, first team. And then this year he said now he wants to coach his own team, so he's went to second team.
Okay.
And I speak to them a lot, and I hear their insights and all of that, and all that stuff. And I think to myself, like, you know what? Sometimes, what we or what coaches maybe get wrong. I'm not here to criticize anybody or whatever, but just from what I understand is that nowadays, people don't get messages the same, man. Like, if you know, some people they can see like a drawing, then they can say, "Oh, this is what I'm supposed to do." Some person might.
I always say on coaching, you're coaching three types of people. The first one is the one that you just speak. He understands exactly what you're saying. The second one is he is a visionary person. So you have to walk him through it. You have to show him this is where you must stand. This is where you must run. All right. And then you have to explain to him, this is a pattern. This is how you're going to run. This is where I want you and that stuff. All right. Then the third one, you must run it a few times before he actually understands it. So if a coach don't understand that, especially in today's time, and the other thing is, you know how it was with us. Oppo die aanvang en sy se gemos of that stuff. You can't do that in today's time because, like Ramesh Osman told me, you need to have Wilson Block for the generation, the 2000 generation coming up. I looked at him and I can't use the word, and I told him it's like they're very emotional, man, and stuff like that. So it's hard to explain to them, and if you're too blunt, then it becomes emotional roller coaster, and that's what I experienced when I was coaching and that stuff. So I would prefer 90s, like my generation, because, like for example, and 80s, because that's what I grew up in and stuff. So in a way, you're so happy you're moving slowly away from it. Like your time is coming and that. And now I get coaches that has developed in that. They know how to deal with them and stuff like that. And sometimes you're not actually coaching. There's a lot of head work. Alles is in die kop.
Sy moet hy persoon glo hy kan of hy is.
And that stuff. So you have to be. And another thing that I also like for coaches, I would always advise. And I picked up this when I was working. I'll never forget this. This person once told me that, you know, when you teach a class and you coach a class or you coach a team and that, you must always remember, if it's 23 players, you're busy with 23 characters. Each character is different. So you need to go on that person's character, and then you have to bring them up to the character, to what you want to bring in and stuff. And that's a lot of work. And if a coach is emotional and say, okay, if you don't play this week and that, we're going to do this generation, you can't vermaak. They will say, hey, cancel the game, man. You understand? And if you don't understand that, you in this era that we are in now, you're going to struggle. And I've seen people, they have struggled. And especially, like I always say, like clubs like in Nova Park, Menenberg, Surrey Estate, Kenworth, like South, where I'm from, in the city and that stuff. What I've learned in that is that you can't vermaak them. If you vermaak them, they leave. They leave, yeah. So it's a whole, it's a psychologist. You must get a psychologist with you.
But you sound like you're ready for coaching, bruh. You sound like you're ready for coaching. And the other thing is like, you know, in our days, they will drop you without any explanation. They just drop you. Go grande by the second team or by the third team somewhere out. There was a stage where I come from third team up to first team, and then from first team straight down to third team, right? And you don't understand, like, what? Why doesn't the second team maybe want or whatever? But nowadays, like, and this is why I like Rassie Erasmus, like this honesty in their camp, man. And for me, especially nowadays, you have to at least tell the player, listen, this is why I'm actually dropping you. If you do this, this, and this, you'll be back in the team. Not just leave him to dry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot of, as I say, emotional damage. You know, like for us, in my time, when you get dropped, my coach is as a kalik, as a kalik, and then that's it. You understand that, right? Then you'd wait for your reaction. Show me in the second team you can do it.
What you're doing, yeah.
Today when you drop a player, it's long messages, it's long voice notes. I never used to do that. I was just like, okay, you drop me, the fan base, you know, your fans, not your fans, but your supporters, your supporter, that base, you know, they will eventually, when you play for them and you play for the badge and stuff like that, no matter you play third team, second team, eventually they're going to see, okay, he's performing again and that stuff.
They're going to put pressure.
They're going to bring you back in and that stuff. Today's generation don't like competition, and they don't like acknowledging their mistakes. And that is very hard. Even in life today, and you learn that with the journey and stuff, is that, look, if a coach says this and this and this, you are dropped, take it. And then go fix it. All right? And if he doesn't pick you, you have to believe in yourself in the way you play. When I can give you a story, of myself, and I can't use example of anyone, but myself, and it might sound arrogant or whatever. I was speaking to one of the coaches under 19 today even, and I was telling him, say for example, you get, I resign as a coach, but if I read them come in, everyone comes in, no? Everyone tells me, look here, I don't think he can make first team. But that's their opinion, alright? And sometimes you have to look, okay, for that month, they're going to practice 8 times. What if I do 100 push-ups every day? So the time when the season restarts again, I am on 3,000 push-ups, alright? And I had the 8 sessions that you also had. We're different. So eventually, your form in the second team is going to catch up to his whole year form.
Yes.
And eventually, he's going to be dropped and you're going to come up. And it's like, I was telling one of the coaches today, and he was telling, oh, there's competition for you on the wing. I said, nah, not for me. Because your mentality is that I'm free. I'm doing Uber. All right? I can go gym in the morning when my battery goes bright. You must work 8 till 5. All right? Now I come back. I take my phone out. I go Uber again. The phone runs flat. It's easy. I was going to charge an hour and a half. I can go to the rugby field. I can run. Maybe in my 20s I couldn't do that. But for me to be 9 the first team, I know I must have more sessions than you. So if you're training thrice a week, I need to train 9 times a week. And that eventually you catch up with him. No matter the age, you're going to catch up with him. And you coming with experience.
Yes.
So you're not going to run every ball. You're not going to go. You're going to decide, okay, this is a trick and
Or
pass.
even play the touches before.
or whatever. You're going to say, okay, put that team to the back. So now you learn how to control the pace. And you know when to strike. And I always say that you have to, I watch my wings, like I was saying Fahim Kat, I know he's running 14 kilometers a week or whatever. I know he's running on a Monday, he's running on a Wednesday. Then he goes and that. So I must tell myself, if he's running 14 kilometers, at least I must do half of it. And the time he again fine and stuff. And that's how you figure out what your brother's doing. And then you try to do double what he's doing. Eventually, when you can bring him also to that level. And like that, the actual team benefits. So competition, it must ignite something. You must be happy. You know, and if that player is playing first team and you're on the bench, it's fine. The season is long, especially in the day where we play. You play 10 games. No, you play 10 games in this league. Alright? If you make it the top 9, it's another 8 games. You play all your 18 games. I'm still waiting for a player that play all 18 games, 80 minutes. That's tough.
That's tough, yeah.
It's tough. And in today's time, it's tough. So that's why Rasi rotated 53 players last year. So your chance will come, but I know you're not going to play every game. It's impossible.
Easy.
So you must just wait there. And sometimes someone do all the hard work, take the club to top 9, and then maybe, God forbid, he gets injured, and you come in that top 9 the last 8 games.
But that's his life. First, guys, before we get into what this guy does, what I actually enjoy on TikTok, I really enjoy it. I go on his page and I look like what happened. Because nowadays we don't really watch TV anymore, and we go on YouTube and stuff, and TikTok, and whenever on a Monday I just want to go and see, especially before the game started, I wanted to see, hey, wie het Abu Dhabi nou gesign. Maar ons gaan gewoon eerst wel een break en zo, en dan gaan we terugkomen en dan praat voor hem alles over die.
Radio East River. Radio East River. Radio East River. Radio East River.
Yo. Baby, alles wat je ziet, maak je zaakje. Ik ben het jou down. Als we alle eerst proef ik je, kom alle haatje. Ik ben het jou down. Maak moves en die stolt niet nodig om te praten. Ik ben het jou down. Is zo ziek van die moves dat je maakt, doe het smart vies. Yo, zeg weet alles wat je ziet, maak je zaakje. Ben het jou down. Was voor alle eerst proef met die kom alle haatje. Ben het jou down. Maak moves en die stolt niet nodig om te praten. Ben het jou down. Is zo ziek van die moves dat je maakt, doe het smart vies. Ben het jou down.
Kom ik wees je wat waar.
basis. Sy gaan vir basis. Ek is die general rapper van hierdie basis. Hoe kan sy 'n basis met numbers wat geraas is? Ek klink soos 'n boks wat sy tweet is geblaas is. Al doen sy 12 shows, ek doen net 1 gig. 3 maande se geld maak ek in 1 week. Ek is so gevaarlik. Ek weet sy harde ton onthou ek is 'n heavyweight julle wat my geskaal het. Noem my as ek elke studio ek let it burn. Ek is warm op 'n beat ek kook net soos 'n on. Julle rappers kry dit net in julle koppe. Hoe is jy 'n goat wat ek perform aan vir die bokke? Bro ek wil die breekie, wat ek kan trots is. Ek maar in 'n all sale, miskien kan julle tops is perform op big stages. Wat weet jy wat so wow op 'n stage was the rhyme so brother look at me now. Alles wat jy sê maak jy sakie. Ben ik jou down? Was all is proof, ik kom alle hati. Ben ik jou down? Maak moves en die stolt het die nodig om te praten. Ben ik jou down? Is muziek van die moves dat je maakt met smartvies.
Radio Yesterday.
Ja. Benjamin on fire, niet meer hier, je kan me afvoeren. Alles is mij onder, net als die ik alle dag doe. Al die mensen om me praten bij en nieuwe smart moves. Niemand kan me fatty, maar ik kom, ik kijk je fatsoe. David Jesse money, ik kan allemaal alle plat doen. Dus zelf is een business als die ik kan naar een man toe. Benz ik op het net, ik denk die beat maak je een handdoek. I fall in love with music and the beat is like I got you. Ik was in die studio, ik was hier voor die straat en niet. Die vader me gewust, is gemaakt voor die. Gefocust op de droom, ik kan niet aan de slapen zien. Ik ga niet meer worden, vrouw voor die. Baby, alles wat je ziet, maak je sakie. Ben ik jou down? Was all is proof, hier kom alle hati. Ben ik jou down? Maak moves en die stolt het die nodig om te praten. Ben ik jou down? Is muziek van die moves dat je maakt met smartvies. Ja. Baby, alles wat je ziet, maak je sakie. Ben ik jou down? Was all is proof, hier kom alle hati. Ben ik jou down? Maak moves en die stolt het die nodig om te praten. Dus je ziek van die moves, je zit maar in mijn smartvies. Ben ik jou down? Ben ik jou down?
Radio Yesterday. Our station, our talent, and our people.
Radio Yesterday. Radio Yesterday. Radio Yesterday. Radio Yesterday.
Thanks for some African music to be playlisted on Radio Yesterday.
The likes of
Gospel.
trap en hip-hop, hip-hop.
Dan wat gaat hij maken? Protest met boms in die straat? Hoeveel zal dood aan die kaap? Mijn enigste vraag is: wat hij bereikt? O zit hij genoeg hier als hij het die voelt? Wat hij bereikt?
Dancehall en reggae tunes.
Yesterday. Kaapstad. Bloedsemstraal represent voor de Jagers. Dat is wat ik het maken.
R&B and soul.
I still smell you, I still smell you, yes I do.
And of course, bomb and house music.
We don't mind the language.
We don't mind the genre.
So send us an email now to info@radioeasterriver.co.za.
Title your email.
Playlist me.
Yesterday.
Our station, our talent, our people.
Ons is terug van die break met Angelo. Game Time with Angelo. Radio Yesterday was the leading radio sensation in Cape Town. Thank you for interacting with us on various platforms. You can catch us live on www.radioeasterriver.co.za. So, let's get into this. Oké, zijn klaar gezien hoe ze in het kom. Ja, was een gap geweest, nee. Maar nou wil ik graag bij jou weten, like, waar krijg je die inlichting van die mensen?
the getting like sometimes to explain and I sometimes like when you do it, it can get boring, right? And you start like learning new stuff and that. So you know, like January till September, October, it's busy. October, November, December, you're not gonna get the views you want and that stuff. So that's the time where you take off. You don't worry about it because you know you're gonna post something, you're gonna get 1,000 views. If you personally worry about views and stuff, and that, so then the rugby goes dead. Alright? Then for me, all my information I ever got and the ideas that I brought was never in Cape Town because we're behind when it comes to soccer, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
And how the information is. So I always used to follow that. I used to follow the
mirror,
content and that stuff. So Fabrizio Romano, we all know him in football as the one that he gets information and stuff. And I go on ChatGPT and then I message ChatGPT and I say, look here, how do Fabrizio Romano get this info? And then it lays you everything down. So you take that whole structure, you just remove with Fabrizio Romano is his contacts and that stuff, and you say, okay, this is how I want to go about it and stuff. Some people don't like it and that stuff, but I always say, like, prove me wrong with the information. Information is one of the most powerful tools that you can have in life, especially today's time and that. So the information I get, is normally directly from the players' girlfriends, players' wives. Sometimes the coaches that are happy for the players that they are leaving, that messages me and tell me, look here, this player is going, do a post for him. So I will happily do it. So when the club that is moving and comes like, you can't do this and that, you can't tell me. Basically, a TikTok page, I can do whatever I want. You can open your own TikTok page and you can do whatever you want. So I know that it's always been players, it's been coaches, it's been the girlfriends, sometimes the chairmen. But the problem with the chairman and the president of a club and stuff is like, they want to control you. Now, I've seen that, and they've tried that with me. And I'll just distance myself from them and that stuff, because you can't be in everything, man. And that's a problem with our culture in a colour community, and that you, for example, you're a chairman, you must learn to just do chairman stuff. Man. Everyone has his role and stuff. So for me on TikTok, it's like, rugby was dead. And everyone will tell you, like the ones that follow the page will tell, when I came in, there was a new spring to club rugby. One guy said, this man have everyone on their clutches, like especially in Super League A. Like I met so many players in Super League A, I didn't know them, and I feel sometimes bad. Like I go to, when I go out with my girlfriend, we go to restaurants and stuff, and they come up to me and I'm really sorry for something. I didn't know them, but I did a post about them. Because I just took the picture. The girlfriend told me, can you do this for him and that stuff. And I always tell them, like, with information, no one knows where it comes from. Even now that I'm saying it, they don't have proof that you gave it to me. I have the proof. So when they come at me, I say, look here, man, prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, then I'll be the first to apologize for it. To say openly, because it's dangerous. You know, sometimes you can give wrong info. You can go. But the one thing I love the most about this is that club rugby is starting to pay players. Yes. And one player was telling me yesterday, you know, when you post about me, they counter my offer. So if this club gives him 2-5 a game if we win, all right? And he also know, but this club bonus signing on fee was $9,000. So now this club is forced to pay him out. By that club's 9,000 rand out and give him a better offer. So he's eating, and that's what I want, and that's what I want for everyone. I want everyone to eat from the cake, and it's been far too long where they try to control everything. So what I do is basically with transfer news and stuff. Yeah, people give me wrong information, but I always tell them, like when I give it, I send them a long thing and it's like copy and paste. And I always tell them, you give me wrong information, all right? For me to apologize that I was wrong is one of the most easiest things to do, all right? Because that's how people see your sincerity. Yes. Like you can acknowledge, look here, I got a mistake, but you lose a relationship with me.
Yes.
For life, for that, because your information you gave was wrong. I block you, all right? And I block you off my TikTok account. Do you know the effort to go make a new one now?
You have to,
You understand that effort? Now you must take your wife's phone to go see what I'm doing and stuff like that. That also become a fight, because now every time you want the phone, and why? You understand? So I always tell them, just be honest. If it's not solid, don't worry. Like, don't worry. Like, it's fine. Once we know it's there, don't worry. I'll put it out there. If you want me to tag your name, I'll put your name here. So I've got probably every club on my WhatsApp.
That's nice.
And players of everywhere and that stuff. So they will tell me, look at Drizia, I'm going here. It's in. Don't worry. Right? Okay, and that stuff. And I'm glad that I could help many players. And I could say, okay, we're going to Super League A. This is a standard of paying by this and that. try to make it so and so. So if I can help them, so now they benefiting, because you must know that players is like semi-pro, man. So it's liquor that I have the ability that I can
Change
assist him.
lives.
I don't get nothing out of it. I don't want nothing out of it also. And it has its perks and stuff like that. Shout out to Kika. Like they came to me, they asked to do a podcast, they gave me a pair of boots, they gave me a tracksuit and stuff like that. But what they loved more about me, Liggett, was that when we had the meeting, I always told them, look here, I don't want that promotion where if you use mine, then I get the 20% of the revenue and that. And I said, look here, man, go to your boss, your partner, tell him that I want the players to have 20% off. I don't want anything from it. And you know, they love that. They love that. And I said, because they're going to support you, I can only wear one boots. But imagine you give from your company, tell them, look here, if you use Club Rugby Podcast and you register on their link and that stuff, you're going to get 20% off. Now what happens to that player? They're all eating. So if your boots is 800 rand and you take 20% off, you know, it's a benefit. And that, so that I'm glad I can do stuff like that. When sponsors come to me and that, and another sponsor, she's a lady, she watches your show every Monday. As ELA, they do this leather, ostrich, wallets, bags and stuff like that. Huge fan of you. And that, her name is Fatima.
Fatima, shout out Fatima.
Yeah. When I posted about you, she says, no, I watch his show every Monday. I know him and all that stuff. And I said, don't worry, I'm going to tell him. And now it just came to mind. And that. So coming back to the information and stuff like that, and that's basically how I got it. First I got it, you get your fans, that supporters and that stuff and that. And with him I just say, send proof. If you want practice, send a picture. They send me the picture. I'm not going to post the picture, but now I know I got the picture from him. And he's telling the truth and that stuff. So that's the one thing, like, I make sure. But this was simple. This was just going to ChatGPT. I'm asking ChatGPT, how do Fabrizio Romano get this info? You take that same syllabus, concept, and you just make it into what... And I've always been for Club Rugby. I know there's lots of players that ask me, why don't you do, like, around the world and you do URC and stuff like that. I never played there. That's maybe one day for someone else and that, but just the fact that I'm here by my club and in my community and stuff like that, I'm happy with that.
Like what's that? Nissan Holdings that's doing the whole thing on YouTube. Like, especially for Boland clubs. Now, do you know how, in my opinion, Boland Club Rugby boomed for the top 8 and just with that. And I feel like you have the same, how can I say, thing happening for Club Rugby in the, like, Western Cape or Western Province, where you bring us the regular updates and especially the transfer. I loved about the transfer because you someone say Van der Stel, Abu Dhabi, you make up your own stuff, which is a squire.
All those, no? He messaged me and he told me Abu Dhabi, Van der Stel. I want you to say it like that. So he was like, a funny story, when he was playing in Kraaifontein, he played against Ahmadiyas, and I used to like praise Ahmadiyas in the Super League C and how they were and stuff like that. And then he messages me and he tells me, hulle gaan 'n pak kry die naweek. Ek gaan hulle uitsort. And he tells me it's like, oh, Rose, man. I said, no, you're joking. Don't talk nonsense to me and that stuff. Because I know Rose that's playing for the Lions and that stuff and all that. And one thing I loved about him was Ora, boss. You just know. You just know when he walks. You just... This is different gravy. And I love that he came back to Western Cape and to come play his end of his career here. Because one of my favorite moments of All Rose... So All Rose comes on my live and he tells me and they show a picture and he now puts a picture on and I lose my shit. Because that's the first time I get a big name. To actually come on my TikTok live and stuff like that, and then he speaks, and we was like 80 people, but when he entered, like that's the first time I took it to 800. Because everyone was like, it's All Rose, it's actually All Rose, and then he was appreciated.
Nice.
At this last 3 years after COVID and that stuff, it's just like even when he played now at the end of the year for Van der Sar before going up, when he came in semis against the. He takes Kraaifontein up, he kicks him out in the Super League B because they don't want him. But and me and the People's Champ, we also, this guy on the TikTok, I always keep that video, it's a funny video, he says that, Rose is not at the end of his career and all that stuff, and the People's Champ say, you can't experience, the kind of experience uitsit and to watch that with the win at City Park, masterclass.
That up and unders.
And all corners and everything. And in the final, when they played UW, he was obviously on the bench because he already took them to Super League A. The job was done. And you must see when he walks, man. When he used to play for Province, you shout, he was there, he was there. But on club rugby, you see that appreciation, him waving to the crowd. There's a nice picture of that. Mr. Tape took that picture. It's a nice picture. So seeing that and seeing now like how he's appreciated and stuff and that is really nice.
Quite.
And he's one of the people that sometimes would message me, tell me the Jaggers coming to Abu Dhabi, Van der Stel, and then I said, yeah. And I said like Man City, I used to call them Man City when they just came on the scene like Super League C, they had money, They had money, my bro.
Who's this?
Van der Stel. Like the way they pumping and stuff. And now people is in the comments, like on TikTok will say, you're saying like Van der Stel is ready, your prediction is first. Look, Villagers did the same when they pumped in good money and stuff like that. And to see what they did and that stuff, it's quite for the league. I'm just happy that players are going to get good money. They save the money. They can maybe invest in something. And it's nice to see players eating from the cake. So I'm all about that. So information of stuff is now majority. When I started off, it was just me going on Facebook, seeing this player moving here, finding out by this and that. But now in my second year now, this was the biggest. I did over 200 players on my TikTok.
Wow.
Last year, I only did like 50. And I tripled the amount and stuff like that. And that was a nice part. And you spoke about the Bowline League. Like, I love the Bowline. I've never been there. But when they come here, like to the community tents and stuff like that, and I went to the community tents, like, I was shocked. Like, how they would come up to me, how they speak with me. And I didn't know who they are and stuff. And eventually they will say this. And I love when they see me, they say, yeah, we go.
Yeah, we go. Yeah, you say, yeah, we go.
So to see that also and how they appreciate you and stuff like that. So whenever they send me stuff and say like, can you post us? Can you do the leagues? I'm always up for it. I just need someone to send it to me. I will always do it for them because I remember like for 2 years, I was like on 6,000-7,000. When I started doing them, like I shot up right up to 13K.
Wow.
So I know, and I want to give back to them, but eventually I will get numbers, more information and stuff and that. So I follow them closely. I love it a lot.
So before we have to go now, I want to ask you this. I would really love for you to come back because it was a nice conversation. Whenever you can, though.
No, whenever. Yeah.
I want you to give me your predictions from Super League A up until
in the Super League A, it's like it's top 6 always the new rule, and that's to make it easy for Marties and stuff like that. It's a union, they can get angry at me. If it had to just be normal, we'd have seen so many different clubs of champions and stuff like that. So for me, it doesn't matter who comes first, second, third, fourth, fifth. As who can kick out Marties in the knockout, you win. Because that's the team you chase. And they now at the stage where we don't need to come first. Just need to be in the top six. So they will play varsity. Don't worry about the full focus on varsity. Our students is going now on holiday. Take 8 weeks off, come back. Then they hit everyone 50s because you're having a talent of varsity coming in Super League A now. And it changes and stuff like that. So as who can knock them out. And like I said, Van der Stel first. Villagers is good. Hamilton's is good. What's the name? It's that 3. It's Marties will be 6th. And then I had 4 or 5 there. But I can't remember the actual names and stuff and that, but I know that you can count on Van der Stel being here, Marties being here, Villages being here. Uni Milnerton will also be in the mix. Ishtali them and that stuff. Every year top 6. Deurbels maybe, and then Stellenbosch. So that's a 6. I don't know how the other clubs look. In the Super League B, I forgot about Hamlets. When I was doing the predictions, I think Hamlets is going to be really good.
Oh, they're in the B now.
Yes, they're in the B, and they're gonna hit the teams. They already started this weekend. The onslaught, the return. So you know that's going to happen. So yeah, but I did do a prediction on the TikTok and stuff. So I know like Hamlets, and I don't know who I shall put there. I can't now. I have it on my phone, and then yeah, in the Super League C, Strand.
So you know that Kraaifontein won't be there.
Kraaifontein is back. Yeah, thank you, Kraaifontein. They mean business. Same team, but added more. I think they can win at CPUT. There's at CPUT will be in that final or in that semi CPUT. Kraaifontein, Hamlets, and maybe hoping like Ahmadiyya's Allegiance just to spice it up will be nice. And in the Super League C, All Saints will be there. The Super League C, anyone can win anyone. That league is not, you don't just have one person that can run away. Like last year it was Makasabu. So they were on the brand. So they might also make top 6 in the Super League B. And then, but that Super League C is open up for anyone. Whoever wins 6 home games and get 3 away wins, they stand a good chance. And that. In the Southern League, there's a team, Watsonia Warriors. They pumped some good money in that team. They fell short.
From where they Southern suburbs?
Yeah, where I love City. Munsif Tauti, Saratoga Sheeps. You know, great guy. A guy that has in the past he learned and now he's back and they won a Super League B team, Primroses. And they are like 2 leagues below. So physicality, Klompie St. George's man, they got people from the north and that stuff. Good for the city, southern and northern. So, and that's what I forgot to say. You know, sometimes in your life you're never gonna play a Super League A team.
Yes.
If you're in a city like me, I'm never gonna play Super League A. I'm never gonna play Super League B or C. Maybe C if we go up. And I did have opportunity of playing it for 2 years, so I know that feeling. But there comes a team along the way, like the Watsonia Warriors at Winterkovic, great players that was stars. That's why St. George's is struggling this year because I have probably a lot of them. When I did transfers, like 10, 12 of them first team quality players. So to see that in the Southern League, and I always say like teams like Titans or Rocklands, that's all there and that stuff. This is once in a lifetime opportunity. And people say, how can you say this about Watsonia Warriors? Look, if you want to know what Super League A is about and Super League B is about, here's your opportunity to get that taste, you know. And that you're not gonna get that again, you know. And you must. It's an opportunity. In the Northern League, because the North, you know, slow. They've been slow. I think in the Southern League, Watsonia Warriors, for me, it's 8 warm-up games, man. Till they come top 9, and then it's gonna be quiet. So Titans will be there, Rocklands will be there, Young Wesley's also will be there in a mix. In the North, I'm going with Salo, Blue Stars. They were in the top 9. Salo was also there, and then maybe see who comes here. Redby maybe, Stellenbosch Coronations.
Where's Redby now?
In the Northern League, yeah.
Oh.
And then the last part, the City League where we play in, it's the toughest one out of the 3 because you have 2 Super League C teams coming down. That's in there. Last year's Super League team that fell short. That's also in there. And another one of 2 years ago. So you have Elsie's River, Morning Stars. You have Manenberg Rangers. You have Silvertree. You have I missed a few also now, just on top of my head. And that. So you have 6, 7 of them there. At Massey. And Blue Jets, that's 6, 7 hard games.
Tough games,
yeah. So I believe whoever comes out of it, 2 of them is gonna go up to the Super League C, and Watsonia Warriors. You know and I'm training every day. Like in my mind, I'm basically if we make top 9, that's the game I want to play.
But before we go, I just wanted to get to that, Ukal. It just shows you, like, if you have a good investment in your team, players will come because, like, there's people that don't even get paid in a Super League B team. But now, like, let's say the City, there's a guy that will pay them like 2,500 a game. Like, why would you play there if you get what I'm saying? Because we're living in a world where the economy is not so liquor. So I would, if it was me, I'll go play there. Doesn't matter what league it is because it's the same game. It's the same.
There's a discussion for another day. So hopefully we can get this quick in if it's fine. I always said that the recipe is simple, all right? For every club that's out there, I was thinking about it. I'm busy making a post with it, but I can touch on it and that stuff. Get your club to be a non-profit organization, you know? Or if your club can be a non-profit organization, you can get many big sponsors that wants to come in and invest in, all right? But there's a trick to that, and I know I'll get a lot of heat for this and that stuff. So what you do is basically, you get a non-profit organization, but you can maybe pay 4 or 5 people. Then they pay them a big amount, all right? And then they take that person, and they start giving it to the players, all right? You also help with your tax and stuff like that. If you pump money in a non-profit organization and stuff like that. So then you get big sponsors. Many people will come on that say you're running a B transport and whatever. They're going to pump in there because it's going to help with the tax and all that stuff. So that's the first step of making your club a non-profit organization, if you can do that. The other thing is also different clubs pay different amounts. In the Super League B, collegians don't get paid, but their team have fight every year close to top 6 and stuff and that. Yeah, but that's they play for the badge. That's best community fan base. And okay, I'm Muslim, so in the Muslim clubs, like they're top 2. They're my favorite, you know, and Kloof, nice, special. I'm gonna try to get that guy in. Sintle. You will love him. Okay. He's all in. You know how Pep is. If you watch Man City, and you see how he trains and that stuff, that man is on edge, boss. He don't sleep.
Nice.
Like he will excite you, like yo, like him. Hashim also, big voices. These coaches coming through that is like you're willing to.
That's good for the game of rugby that comes in with their personality.
There's another one of Violets, a young coach. He's part of Stormers and stuff like that. His name is Saban. Same. They like this, man. Like they're on the field and you yo, this is insane. But that's the reality. So coming back to that, and then the paying structures. That's how they do it and stuff like that. And once you have a non-profit organization, you can, and then get people with good odds that give and that. And that the biggest mistake any club can ever do is when you pay only certain players, and that because now you get a lock. That plays better than a lock that is paying. And if he finds out, that causes commotion in a club and that. And I always give the greatest advice I can give to any club that tries to pay in that. Say you can only afford $7,000 a week, right? Split the $7,000 to 23 players. You know, Hamilton's, we didn't mention him, nah? That's a super club. It's a super team. There's not like a community there, but you must see how they play. Everyone structure get the same pay. Everyone lose, same pay. Everyone draw, same pay. So whoever comes up, there's nothing different here. That's what they wanted last year. This year, House on Fire, they're under the radars, 150th year. But that's a club you must, like if you want to pay one day a club, take it from there. Violets also did it last year in the top 9 close. And when Tawi was here and that stuff, and his father, you know, used to come and give every player 200. Look here, it's a 200. You broers het tyd met ons kilo chips and half a kilo chips and half a kilo van, lekker for you and the family. But that was fair because they were paying each player the same. Each player saw it, man. And that's how you can create something special. But now, tomorrow, this one finds out he gets so much, this one, but you know? Yeah. So it's difficult, but you get high profile names that they you don't see it in the beginning, but you know, when shit hits the fan, they're the ones and that. So That's the thing. So yeah, there is like that, and it's good. I love it. I love a club that pays, and that because it gives that player that profile, man. Yeah, because if you semi-pro, and he knows what to do and stuff like that. It's a great feeling, and I will always encourage it. The one thing I don't encourage is where you only pay certain players and the others don't get paid. That is a dangerous thing, because that is a recipe to break up a club. So I'm always against that. But right around, even if you have a club, you give everyone 100, and you know, it's data, so 7 gigs. It can last you for 7 days.
Guys, ons het vanaand vir Adil gehad hierso. En ons kan seker heel aanpraat, want die mannetjie hy gesels lekker. Ek sal try om weer vir hom op die show te kry. Maar ek wil net vir julle vir die luisteraars sê baie dankie dat julle ingetune het en vir Adil gesê dat dankie dat jy jou tyd opgeoffer het om hier te wees en om het ook special te maak. Ek appreciate it baie.
Plezier. And then the other thing is it will be on your YouTube.
Yes.
So if you want to watch the whole interview, just follow Angelo. Keep up the stuff. It was funny when you messaged me and I was like, I don't read some inboxes because some go in the archives and stuff and that, and then someone screenshotted it. I can't remember and said, "Jy Angelo het vir jou gemessage. Kyk dit daar." I said, "Nee, ek het dit nie gekry nie because as ek in my in the archives see, because you know if you don't follow you don't see that messages sometimes." En sê jy gaan kyk, dis 'n groot naam lekker. And he screenshotted and stuff, and then I go to my mentions, and then I see that you mentioned my name, and then I said, "Here we go." And then I started following you and stuff like that. So it's a great opportunity. Thank you. But in the future, it feels nice. But we'll see how it goes and stuff. The radio station also, yesterday, I didn't know about this radio station at all. Ik heb nou heel veel geluisterd op mijn phone, maar heb ik tijd gekregen en I luistered in it because I had to do research, you know, like to find out like who was before me here, and Tyrese told me everything. I was nervous as Tyrese to see me. En hij maakte grap en zei, die mensen vanuit Afrika. I said, nee, man, ik kan niet. En then he said, don't worry. Alles lekker, alle praat mingels en goed en zo. Hij zei, moet niet worry nie. So yeah, and then for the listeners and that stuff, please support. And we hope it grows from strength to strength. And we don't know what will happen in the next. Maybe this is the fortress where we can keep mini podcasts with many great individuals in that, and they need that exposure. They love it. So so thank you to you. I was nervous in that, but it was lekker and that. So yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. So this is game time with Angelo, and I'm out.
The best variety of music on your favorite radio station.
Radio East River.
Radio East River. Radio